So, this is my response for Reflective Journal Task 1 about can anybody be a playwright or be creative in some way. There are lots of complicated factors I think that can go into it, but I have a schema here that I think generally describes how somebody could do it, even if perhaps they didn't have an instinctive flair for it. I do think, firstly, from experience, that the very key things of the key elements to starting off would not exist in most people, just simply by the evidence of the fact they don't do it. Genuine creativity and the desire to then create is reasonably rare, I think, at least when it comes to playwriting, more so in something like music, it's a bit more accessible. So I have three things here, very crudely done. But I found, firstly, in my own experience of creation, I've written a few plays and done work of myself, that really whatever your starting point is, you can't do it without the desire to do it, the very simple starting point. You do have to have some knowledge, foundation knowledge of the craft of some kind, whether that's experience of like precedent of what other people have done, or whether you've kind of broken down the science of what you're doing. And the last one is an instinct. I found that these three things are combined what has helped me create. There has to be an instinct to show something in a certain way, tell a story in a certain kind of way, and that doesn't matter whether it's a musical story or a play story or a painting. An instinct of a way of transferring how you think into how somebody else thinks, the desire to do that, and then the knowledge of how to actually best apply that. And the next point is a constant cycle between exploration and exploitation. Exploration being looking into new ideas, coming up with essentially it's the creative, sort of more obvious stereotypical creative process, coming up with as many ideas as possible, not judging your ideas, getting them all out, trying lots of things. And then exploitation is obviously exploiting the ideas that you've come up with. I think this is something a lot of adults, particularly ones who are adults then trying to get into creative fields, is something they struggle with a little bit, is that the idea of kind of letting go of all of your conscious thoughts, if you like, and allowing you to explore lots of different ways of telling a story, and the most expressive way. But then obviously at some point you have to move into exploitation. You have to decide which ideas are best, which ones want getting rid of, which ones need refining, and then actually putting it into black and white to give to other people who can then create it. And I have a bit of a run through here of my personal things. So I found that anything creative can only start when you have something to say. And for a long time, I wanted to do something and I couldn't get it to happen, and then realized that the big difference was having something to say. Then you need to understand the means for doing it. What genre, what artistic medium, is it going to be silent? Is it going to be one person play? Is it a real time thing? Whatever you choose is the best means for doing it. The essential elements, the things that you feel need to be in the play that basically make it yours. If you hand over a script to somebody who's perhaps more knowledgeable than you, they might tear up the script and write something better, but they might lose the essential elements that made it your creation, even if it made it a better script. There are certain essential elements that attach the play to you, if you like. Then the actual crafting of it, which I found key. I could not do it until I had read some good books and things at university, teaching me about the actual craft of story writing, about raising tension, about elements of characters, how stories are stuck together, and they needn't necessarily be sort of rote learning. It's just something to give you an idea of what it is you're actually looking at. In a way, the crafting helps you to analyze what you have done rather than apply what you think to a certain set of rules. Then production, in terms of writing it out, creating it into, sort of bringing it into the world, if you like. Editing, obviously, then a reproduction of it. I found to sort of edit the script down and then rewrite it again, almost copying it and changing things, and then obviously finally the creation. So that's my schema, crudely done on the back of a postcard, and I hope that made sense.